Going into this weekend, we knew that we had a tall task ahead of us, and playing arguably one of the best teams in the country, if not the best in their home building, we knew we had to play a flawless game. And I thought, from the beginning of the game right through the end, starting with our leadership, we had discipline in our structure. We had discipline individually and not standing out of the penalty box. And I thought our goalie was outstanding. There were some moments in the game that, the game was still up for grabs. And even in the third, when they had their big push, that's a team that could score in bunches. And I thought Rico did a really good job making some really timely saves.
Okay, we're going to go with questions. First one will be from Tim Rapley. Tim, go ahead. Turn your mic on. There you go.
Yep, I should be okay. I'm unmuted. Hey, Coach, do you believe in momentum? Because it sure appears your team has some.
Yeah, 100%. When you go throughout a game and throughout a season, there's ups and downs. And we've talked to the guys all year that, it's not just this year, it's every year. You talk about coaching for the end of the year. And, all the things that you do that maybe are a little uncomfortable for players, and, some longer practices and, some details and things like that. It's all for this point of the year. And, we haven't had an easy road to get here. At Christmas, you probably would have said the two best teams in the league for sure were Mankato and Bowling Green. And, to have to go play on the road with both those teams, I think you need momentum. And again, I like the way our team is. I like our demeanor. We're not too high. It feels different, Tim, than when we were here 2 years ago or whatever that was, 3 years ago. It just feels different.
Okay, next is Ryan Stieg. Ryan, go ahead.
Hey, Grant, you said at the beginning that you wanted the guys to be relaxed and you were going into the mindset of just playing with confidence. Did you notice that in the first period right away?
Yeah, I think, obviously scoring the goal early, that was a big boost for us. But even the rest of the period, there was moments where, a couple things happened that were plays that could make you nervous on the bench. But, it's that even keel. And I did think when it got to 3-0, I thought we got away from that for a second, Ryan. We were starting to worry about all kinds of things that didn't matter. And, we kind of reset ourselves again. And, throughout the rest of the period, even the third period when they were pushing, there was just, guys weren't tight on the bench and they weren't anxious. And, if somebody had made a mistake or two, he'd come back to the bench and, you didn't hear negativity. And, it's such an important thing to, continue to feel good about how you're playing. Because as an athlete, if you start to lose that, then your game could spiral. But when you feel good and you're confident, even if you're in a tough spot or even if you make a play you don't like, it's much easier to park it.
Good. Next, we'll hear from Jim Connolly. Jim, go ahead.
Hi, Grant. If you could maybe just give us the approach when you're playing a goaltender like Dryden McKay with, who seems to take away most shots, stops the ones he sees. What did you have to do tonight to have success against him?
I think number one is you can't pass up shots because, and that goes as much to Dryden as it does to their team. They don't give up a lot of opportunities. So if you get one, you can't try pass it in the net. So that you start with that. And then it's all the same things. It's, trying to get people to the net, trying to make lateral plays, trying to shoot off the pass. All those things are important. But, I think the number one thing is always making sure that, if you have a chance to shoot, that you're challenging and making the goaltender make a save.
Good. Next, Shane Frederick. Shane, go ahead.
Grant, this is kind of a similar question, I guess, in terms of Dryden McKay, but he shut you guys out twice at home in early January. I don't know how much that sticks in guys' minds, but when you score as early as you did in the first period and certainly the early goal in the second, do you think that makes a big difference in mindset in terms of knowing that you hadn't scored against this guy all year before that?
Well, yeah, to be honest, Shane, I think because he's such a good player, if you were playing a goalie that, was a 900, and he was a more middle of the road goalie, and then he shut you out, I think that would be in your head. But he's done it to everybody. So, to be honest, I don't think we even thought of that. It just was, hey, he's a really good player, and we just got to make sure that we do what we can to try have success. But their goals early, no doubt. They gave us some confidence, and maybe, the goal in the second period maybe was, you could argue was, as or more important than the first one.
Good. Next up, Adam Woden. Adam, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. You look at your team's turnaround in the second half. It seems obvious. You look at your new goalie you got February 7th. You guys started winning, but so how much of it would you attribute to that, and how much just to like you said earlier, you work for the end of the year? Can you just, from your perspective, how much of it is which?
A combination for sure. Rico's had a huge impact on our team. But it's been and everybody says it's been a weird year, but for us, we're down 4 defensemen that we started the year with. We went through 2 stretches or one stretch where Griffin Lochran, who again couldn't play tonight, but he was out for 3 or 4 weeks, and he led the league in scoring last year. Andre Gontos was out at the same time for 3 or 4 weeks, and he led the league in scoring this year. And your defensemen are down, and we just seemed like we couldn't get traction. We'd have games where I thought we played well, but for whatever reason, a combination of all those things that are clicking now. At that point, just you couldn't get any traction, and I think that affected us more than now that I look back at than I felt at that time. But Rico is he's just such a mature person, and he's a calm kid, and he doesn't get too high or too low. And I know that's cliche, but in that position, even in recruiting him, that was one thing that really struck me, is that he has the demeanor of a starting goalie.
Next question would be Dave Danis. Dave, go ahead.
Coach, one of the things you've been on the team about all season and even for all 4 years is starting the game on time. What was the key? What did you see in the preparation this week and the recent play that maybe led to that team getting that great start tonight?
I think, Dave, you can even go back to Sunday of, just the look in their eyes before the game on Sunday. And obviously we came out and played a very good game. And then we were off for a few days because, you can't practice. So we came back and, had 2 practices and, but to being around them, I think, you feel it more there than you do at practice, on the bus, at a meal, before the game. They got a good way about them right now.
One more question will be from Ryan Stieg. Ryan, go ahead.
Grant, the announcers during the course of the game were talking about how you guys are playing like with nothing to lose. Is that the mindset you guys have going into tomorrow, or have you changed it, you think?
No, I mean, I think it's the same, and I don't know that I would say that you have nothing to lose, because obviously going into every game, you want to do your best to try to win the game. But, we're playing free, Ryan. And when you play free and you play with confidence and you play on your toes, you have positivity, those things start to build, and that can push you through a couple tough stretches in a period or a game, or some of those things, and help you advance. So I don't know that we're playing with nothing to lose. I don't think that's the right word, but I do think we're playing free. We're playing with confidence. And again, I love the even keel way that our team is right now.
Thank you, Coach, and good luck tomorrow.
Thanks, Todd.
We'll be joined here in just a second by Andre Gontus and Joseph Nardi from Northern Michigan. Get them on camera and we'll get going. Again, if you have questions, hit the raise your hand function and we'll get you on with the players once they're ready to go.
Figure out how.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Gentlemen, thanks for joining us. Again, we're joined by Northern Michigan student athletes Andre Gontus and Joseph Nardi. Guys, we're just going to go right to questions. The first one for you is going to be from Shane Frederick. Go ahead, Shane.
Andre, this is for you, but Joseph, you can answer it too. When you score as early as you did tonight after being shut out by this team twice, being shut out and knowing Dryden McKay's reputation, what did that do for your team in terms of confidence, going for the rest of the through the rest of the game?
I thought it was big. Scoring first, gave us all the momentum, and it showed that, we can easily play with them. Doesn't matter, who we're playing against. And, once we get an early goal, it just gets us going, and we're just an unstoppable team.
Okay, next question is Ryan Stieg. Ryan, go ahead.
Joe, Grant talked earlier in the week that he wanted you guys and said you would be coming in relaxed and confident. Could you tell that on the bench and in the locker room before the game?
Yeah, 100%. I think the coaches did a great job this week just preparing us for Mankato. We knew it would be a tough test, but, one thing we've always talked about was it doesn't really matter what happened at the beginning of the year. We're in the postseason, and we deserve to be in this position. And I think the group is just playing with confidence, and everybody's playing. So when you have that going, I think it's a recipe for success. And tonight was that.
Okay, next question would be Dave Danis. Dave, go ahead.
For both of you guys, when you take a look back to last weekend and you have the tight victory on Friday, you get beat pretty good on Saturday. What was the key to turning it around on Sunday and then carrying that over to tonight?
We just knew we needed, everyone to play their game, and it's been unbelievable. Up and down the lineup, we've had everyone going, doing everything it takes to win, sacrificing their body, getting back to pucks, forechecking hard, doing all the little things, because, in playoffs you need to do everything right. You need everyone to be going, and that's started last Sunday against Bowling Green, and we've just carry that momentum into today, and then keep going into tomorrow.
Okay, next up be Tim Rapley. Tim, go ahead. Tim, you're on mute.
This is for Joe. Your seasons have been eliminated. You've been eliminated at home the last 3 years. How much fun is it to play on the road? It seems like you guys are becoming a tighter group.
Yeah, I think before the playoffs started, the coaching staff and our team, we talked about how being on the road is the best position for us, especially just how the season went. We play our best hockey on the road, and, to be able to go into a tough building like Bowling Green in the first round and have a grudge match on Sunday, kind of just shows the maturity and where we've come from the beginning of the year, and how much character is on this team. So those games just kind of build momentum for us, and that was the tale tonight.
Okay, next up, Ryan Stieg. Ryan, go ahead.
Andre, you were out for a bit, due to some health issues, and now you're back. You led the league in scoring. What do you think was the big key for, to catch fire late in the season?
It was tough, not being able to play, and kind of, I just kind of recharged there from, the beginning of the year, and I've just kind of not taken, any game for granted. I'm just, thankful and happy to be playing, the game I love with, such a good group of guys, and kind of just being in the moment and, just enjoying it every single day. And, it's just been a lot of fun playing with this group.
Any more questions for the student athletes? All right, gentlemen, thank you. Good luck tomorrow.
Guys, thank you very much.
Coach Mike Hastings. Coach, we'd like to ask you to make an opening statement, then we'll take questions.
Yeah, first, I'd like to congratulate Northern Michigan on moving on to the championship game on Saturday here in Mankato. And you know what? I thought we let the game get away from us and didn't react real well to a lot of adversity. Gave up the first one, had some minimum opportunities after that. And I thought the one that really did the damage was the third one. And we never found our legs. We didn't get to the net enough. And again, it's a lost opportunity, and it's we're going to have a quick turnaround here and be able to watch some hockey of ourselves and make ourselves better before we get to the tournament.
Thanks, Coach. All right, folks, if you got a question, just hit the raise your hand function and we'll get you on. Okay, first up, Jim Conley. Jim, go ahead.
Mike, I think it was Jerry York last week from Boston College mentioned that he analyzed the last 4 years of tournaments and number one seeds, have a hard time. I think he said 125%. And I think thus far, number one seeds have struggled. What is the pressure that's on a number one seed when you get into these types of games?
Well, you know what, when you get to a point that we're at in the season and the guys are always, especially in a pandemic season, in my opinion, you're worried about the next day. And, for us, you spend the entire year chasing the opportunity to be able to host in a Final Four if you can get through that first round. And I don't know if it's a sense of accomplishment, if it's a sense of satisfaction where when you have other teams that are playing for their season. And so from our standpoint, I thought Northern, and without putting it in any simpler terms, they were hungrier. Came out, took advantage of an opportunity, find a way to get one behind Dryden, and kept coming. And I just didn't think that we handled the punch in the nose very well.
Okay, next up, Shane Frederick. Shane, go ahead.
Mike, I know you guys weren't real happy with the way you played last week against Ferris State, especially Friday night. Are there any concerns right now with those games tonight? Things that you have to clean up for the national tournament?
Yeah, there's concerns, but I mean, you've got to look in the mirror, and that's what I told the guys when we were, right after the game. I said, fellas, we got to own our performance, whether it's good or bad. And so tonight we weren't up to the task, so we're going to have to look in the mirror. And last weekend was last weekend. I thought we had a good week of practice. I thought we accomplished the things that we wanted to get accomplished moving into today. We just didn't handle today very well. So our opportunity is to learn from it, flush it, and move on, because we don't have time to sit and sulk or worry about what didn't get done. We've got to get some business done here before we get to the tournament.
Okay, next up, Kevin Dudley. Kevin, go ahead.
Hey, Mike, I know the slow starts have been something that you've talked about lately and wanted to address. I know that, the first wasn't what did you in, it was that stretch in the second, but did you feel like the slow start tonight in the first did kind of set the tone for what happened in the second?
Yeah. And you and I have talked about this, Kevin, before. And I guess the best way I can put it is until you get burned by something, you don't know how hot it is. And we've discussed it. We've tried to address it. And tonight we couldn't dig ourselves out of it. In the, near past, we've been able to overcome a slow start, whether that is because Dryden McKay has allowed us to by keeping the puck out of our net and give us an opportunity to get our feet underneath us. Tonight that didn't happen, and we didn't handle it very well. And so, we've got to move on. Slow starts or adversity is something that you're going to face. We haven't faced a lot of it, and so we've got to learn from it quickly.
Any other questions for Coach? Okay, Coach, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, folks, we'll be joined here in just a minute by Minnesota. Okay, folks, we're joined by Minnesota State's Reese Mullick and Reggie Lutz. And if you have questions, just hit the raise your hand function and we'll get you on with the players. Okay, first up, Shane Frederick. Shane, go ahead.
Reese, it seemed like right off the bat, you guys were chasing it a little bit, and they get that early goal that kind of set the tone. You just talk a little bit about what happened defensively, early in the game, and then in the second period where things kind of got tough for you guys.
Hats off to them. They played heck of a game, but at the same time, I think comes down to our preparation and being ready to go. I don't think we were ready to go. I also don't think we did the hard things we needed to do to win, plain and simple.
Okay, questions? Okay, Shane again. Go ahead, Shane.
Reggie, I know you had a lot of opportunities to score, but it seemed like there were just times tonight where the offense just wasn't clicking in your offensive zone. Did you feel like you guys were off a little bit tonight, passing wise and playmaking wise? And how did Northern make that tough for you guys?
Their goalie played really well, and they blocked a lot of shots and made it tough for us in the offensive zone. Just a few unlucky bounces in the offensive zone that didn't go our way, but hats off to their goalie, and they played a good game, blocking a lot of shots and made it hard for us.
Next up's Kevin Dudley. Kevin, go ahead.
Reggie, I know it obviously didn't go the way you wanted tonight, but I thought in the third period there were some positives to take from that, especially the 2 power plays. I know the power play has been something that you guys have been working a lot on that's needed to improve. Were you happy with the way the power play did in the third?
Yeah, it was nice to get a power play goal and try and give us a little bit of life. But going into the third period there, I mean, we could have either just went into a ball or tried to claw our way back. But yeah, we had a few good looks on the power play, and we were able to get one.
Anything else for student athletes? Okay. Next up, Jason Feldman. Jason, go ahead.
Hey, Reese, you talked about, you said you didn't do the hard things that you needed to do to win. Jared kind of said something similar after the first game against Ferris last week. Could you expand on that a little bit? What are some of those things you feel like you guys need to do to be better?
I mean, you kind of saw it out of Northern Michigan tonight. You know, they're buying to block shots, you know, defend, get into those hard areas. You know, I think we got to get back to doing that. And I mean, when you do those hard things, no one likes to play against it. And I thought Northern did a good job of doing those little things that make a big difference in a game.
All right, next up, Shane Frederick. Shane, go ahead.
Related to that, maybe Reggie, you can answer it. You know, when you kind of look at trying to get this out of the back of your minds and going forward to the national tournament, and it was mentioned in a question earlier about last week and some that you guys weren't real happy, especially Friday, and what Jared had said. What do you feel like you guys have to do between now and next weekend to clean up some things that you've seen both this weekend and last weekend?
I think just the preparation and practice, coming to the rink every day, Monday through Thursday, practice-wise, coming to the rink, preparing to get better and not taking a day off, competing hard against each other, pushing each other to be better. And that should carry over in the weekend. But whenever we get back to the rink, whether it be Monday or Sunday, we got to come ready to work.
Anything else for Reggie and Reese? Okay, guys, thanks for joining us. We'll let you go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.